Dish I made in a long time. It's Valentine's Day night or whatever. I'm not going out. If you're out, well, you're not out. You wouldn't be watching me if you're out. If you're out tonight and you're watching me, then you have a bad date. You're in bad shape. Or you've been married too long, one or the other. I mean, if you're sitting at the table watching me cook and you have nothing to say to each other, you're in real bad, really bad shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is, before I continue with this clown show, is I'm going to check to see if you're watching by my comments. I'm alone. I want to be alone. I just don't have it for people. Zelensky's propaganda tour got me so sick today. I mean, I thought after Trump was elected, we weren't going to see this little bastard anymore. I just thought maybe they would send him to Florida to open a nightclub where he could use his penis to play the piano, or they would replace him and make peace and stop killing people. The other day, Trump gave a speech. He doesn't want to see all these young men die anymore. I said, thank God someone's talking about life and death. And then here's the pimp is here again. This little bastard is here again doing a tour. He's actually in Munich, telling one, we need nuclear weapons. We want weapons. We want more weapons. We want everybody to die for us. You come in, you protect. I never saw anything like this. That's why I want to cook a simple dinner, but I got to see if you're watching before I continue with my... Are you there? Glad to see you tonight, Michael. I'm on the other side of the camera now. I got 2 customers. I got 3. Watching, hard to hear you. I knew it. I knew there'd be a problem. I just knew it. So if you can't hear me, that's a problem. I could plug in a microphone. So I'm going to ask you again now before I continue on my cooking thing and talking. Can you hear me now or not? If you can't hear me, the whole thing is shot. Why can't you hear me? The microphone should be on. What the hell is this? Oh, the microphone's down here, I see. Yes, no, I can hear you. Oh, you can hear me now because I'm next to the microphone. I have a plug-in microphone with something that I don't want to bother. I'm in a bad fucking mood, I swear to God. I'm in a bad fucking mood. I really am. So it's Valentine's Day. I'm not going to mock it just to be a cynical schmuck. It's a beautiful day, but mine says family is made in the heart. To me, Valentine is about family. I hope you have a family member that you love, even if they're in a memory, or if the family is a pet that's dead even. I'm not being sarcastic. Something. You got to love something. You got to love something on this planet. You know, it's a short dance in the sun, boys and girls. You know, I was looking at the hourglass. You want me to get maudlin tonight? Would you like a little maudlin for Valentine's Day? I'll get out the Valentine. I'll get out the hourglass. I want to talk about time for a minute. Let me come back here. You look at a simple thing like an hourglass. I've collected, artifacts, antiques and whatnot for years. So I look at this simple thing. It's not so simple. But I ask myself, when was this invented? I'm a very curious man. An hourglass. You think it's that simple? Who conceptualized this? No, you don't know. Ancient Babylonian or Egyptian times. Some genius figured out that if they calculated the exact aperture between the 2 pieces of glass and the size of whatever they were using, whether it be sand or salt, if they could make it a 60-minute one or a 63-minute one, they make them now at 5-minute ones, 3-minute ones, 10-minute ones. I never actually calculated how long this hourglass is. But the whole object of the hourglass was to remind us about the fleeting nature of time. And of course, they were then used in churches to time the length of sermons before people, would walk out. So I've always been conscious of time ever since I'm a little boy. Tick-tock, tick-tock. And I collect antique clocks. I'm not going to bore you by showing you some of these beautiful French clocks. In fact, I want to talk about potatoes, making a very simple Valentine's Day dinner for myself tonight. See, they're done already. This is what I love about boiled potatoes. I call it the Warsaw Ghetto diet, not so sarcastically. You could actually, if you lived on such a diet, you'd live much longer than eating these rich meals that we eat. Simple is good. A study was done in Europe during World War II, and in the countries that were actually near starvation, they lived longer after the war than those that ate like pigs. Go figure. Figures, doesn't it? Well, the potatoes are actually done, so before I go on with my dinner, I'm going to simply drain it. It's not a cooking show. I'll show you how to drain a pot. I'll turn the heat off and drain the pot. I'll come back. I'm going to make a column. No, I'm making shrimp. No sewer shrimp, though. I'm going to show you why. Shrimp and prawns with potatoes. It's so simple. The trick is to buy the right one. So hold on a minute. Just simply drain the potatoes. There we go. Thank God, that's over with already. Bingo, done. You say, what's the big deal? Well, let me tell you something. When I was young, even boiling a potato was not easy. Even this required knowledge. How to make a hard-boiled egg. Did you know how to make a hard-boiled egg when you were a kid? Your mother had to teach you. Did you know how to make a soft-boiled egg? No, someone had to teach you. So you boil a potato. You think it's easy. It is easy. First, the main thing is to buy the right potatoes. Organic red potatoes. The reason is most potatoes and onions are sprayed with maleic hydrazide, which is a toxic cancer-causing chemical. So luckily, I have been watching what I've eaten. It must be 50 years now. Remember, I wrote my first health book in 1972. It was published, Earth Medicine, 1972. Earth Medicine, Earth Foods, Plant Remedies, and whatever of the Native American Indians. It's a beautiful book. It's still in print somewhere. I then wrote other books. Bugs in the Peanut Butter was written in the 1970s for children, warning them about the additives and the poisons in our foods. RFK Jr. would do himself well to read that book. So I've been at this a long time, and it's paid off to a certain extent. I raised my family with this knowledge. Some believe it, some don't. It's hard to follow. But there's only so much a person is willing or can do for their health. And then you say, the hell with it, I don't care anymore. I'm not in that state of mind. I like simple foods. So I want to show you something before I go on with my story, because it's going to be a long night, I could feel it. Can you hear me or not? I need to hear whether you're hearing me. See, there's no one here saying yes, no, whatever. I'll continue as though you're hearing me and seeing me well. I set the camera up horizontally this time because I know you'd prefer it. So tonight's dinner is very simple. I didn't want any more pasta tonight. I wanted potatoes. I love potatoes. They're nutritionally, of course, superior to pasta, but I love pasta and it worked for me my whole life. Delicious. I don't eat it every night, the pasta, but here we go. Okay. So I've got wild caught product of USA. I'm going to show you this pink shrimp. And I think I'm going to add some scallops to the dish. Not really. I'm not in the mood to open another package. I want to show you something. For a long time, if you remember some of my cooking, I was boasting about Argentinian red shrimp. They were the large shell on, and they tasted good. But I looked very carefully, and in very small print, they were coated in the sulfite-like compound. And I was wondering why I was getting slight headaches from them. And then somebody alerted me to an interesting fact about shrimp boats, which I would like to share with you. Perhaps I have it here. These are my little cooking memos, cookbooks that I hang around here, but red shrimp Livornese. I was going to talk about tonight's Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Grigio. I have some notes on that. But somebody, I love my recipes. Pasta with olive oil and garlic. This is beautiful stuff. Pan-seared swordfish, pan-seared halibut. But I'm looking for the additives to the spaghetti with garlic and onion. Beautiful. Lemon garlic chicken, foods high in tyramine. I have some boiled red baby potatoes. Even that takes a recipe. Simple hard-boiled eggs. That takes a recipe. My recipes that are all modified from various books. But I am looking now for the memo that someone sent me. Oh, this is for you. Here's a peasant dish I once made for you. Pasta and potatoes. People said, how could you eat two starches? Very easily. They've been eaten for centuries in Europe. That's how. They didn't read a cookbook on the dangers of them. Well, I don't know if I have it for you on the shrimp. I remember what it is, basically. The shrimp boats basically spray the shrimp when they catch them with a sulfite-like compound to prevent them from turning color. and therefore they're mostly all coated with some sort of sulfite, which of course is toxic. I wouldn't eat them in sausages, whether it's a chicken apple sausage. I get them without sulfites. No, I don't have it. This could be a shrimp oreganata type of thing tonight, by the way. I love oregano. I happen to have good oregano. I don't have the, I'm sorry, I don't have the thing. I told you the whole spiel just now on shrimp anyway. Okay, whatever. It's a very natural show. So, to make a long story short, I searched everywhere I could. The local market sells what they call Gulf prawns. And they look like they're fresh because they're not frozen. But if you ask them, are they fresh or frozen? They'll say, oh, they're previously frozen. So, oh, really? Can I see the package? And bingo, every one of them has sulfites on them. Because on the shrimp boats, to prevent them from turning, they put sulfites on. So I have gone to Safeway, and I found one brand, Open Nature, Key West Pink Shrimp, Raw Peel and Deveined. I prefer not peel and deveined, but these are raw peel and deveined, fine. You have to look very carefully in the back. Ingredients, shrimp, bingo, nothing else. Contains crustacean, shellfish, shrimp. Harvested from west coast of Florida with sweet, mild flavor, no preservatives. This is the only one I'm eating now. It says shrimp. The other would say shrimp, and I would show you the sulfites. Be very careful. So this seafood is harvested from the Gulf of America, not the Gulf of Mexico anymore. West coast of Florida, they should say Gulf of America now. It is the product of the USA. Now, the thing is they're not, obviously, we're going to cook them frozen. How the hell can you cook a frozen shrimp? What you may not know is almost all the shrimp that you are eating in restaurants is frozen, and it's not even defrosted. They're going to do what I do, but theirs have sulfites all over them, mine don't. And I learned this later on in my shrimpology. It's really not rocket science, but everything requires knowledge, as my dad would have said to me. May he rest in peace. Anyway, so we're going to just simply, you don't have to see me do it. You take the shrimp and run them in a colander, cold water, for a few minutes till the ice breaks off, and I'll be right back. You'll hear it running, okay? That's the sound. I could turn the camera around, but at least you can hear it. You are listening to the sound of running water on frozen shrimp. Can you hear me now? I know you can because the microphone's faced this way. I'm just basically taking the first layer of ice off them. And maybe people say, oh, that's terrible. Why are you cooking frozen shrimp? Well, the answer, Schmendrick, is because I have frozen shrimp and I want shrimp tonight. I'm making shrimp oreganata. I'm going to wash them a little longer. Again, these have no sulfites on them. Very important. That's the point I'm making tonight. They come out great because I'm going to wash them, then I'm going to dry them because you don't want to cook them with water on them. If you cook them with water, they'll ruin. You cook them all wet, they're going to be soggy, obviously. You think you know all of this? Maybe you do. Okay, maybe you don't. A lot of people don't. So here they are, nicely washed. Then we're going to rinse them. Put them on some paper towel. I bought a big bunch of paper towel yesterday. I went to Safeway, I saved a lot of money. A lot of paper towels. There we go. I'm going to show you. You say, oh, big deal. Well, nothing's a big deal in this world. It gets my mind off Zelensky and the war and young men being killed for greed with all the warmongering scumbags in America in the arms industry. They're all in Munich now trying to push the war. I saw a few of them being interviewed afterwards. I wanted to throw up. There's this guy from Texas. He's so disgusting. I forget his name, Paul or something, McCall. He's on some armed services committee. All he does is push war. Okay, a Republican from Texas, right? Just if you think it's on the Democrat side only, you're mistaken. So here are the shrimp. They have been defrosted, sufficient to cook, but you have to cook them very carefully now because although they're not frozen on the outside, they're frozen solid on the inside. So the trick here is after you pat them dry, is you put the oil and get the oil super hot and I'll show you. Will you give me a minute to show you? Give me a second. I'm going to get my oregano out, and we're going to make our unfrozen shrimp momentarily. Momentarily, we're going to make them. Just making sure that they're nice and dry, because otherwise they're going to be horrible. I love these pans. These are not the type of pans you think that they are. The old ones with Teflon was toxic. These do not contain the toxic elements. Again, you got to be very cautious with everything today. So I'm going to show you the label from even a pan you have to know something about. Non-stick, durable PTFE marble coating. So it doesn't contain the equivalent of the old days where it would leach into the food, right? Good to know. So the next thing, I'm making the potatoes. What do I want with my shrimp in the pan? First, you want to get the pan super hot. Then you want to put in a super high quality olive oil. Most important is the oil you're using. I was using different oils for the last few weeks. I'm not crazy about this one. Hold on. I made it the other day. I don't know where my toilet paper is. There was this woman so crazy. I don't know where the hell they're from. You get a maid in here that you don't know if the toilet paper's there, the olive oil by the time they leave. What is with them? They're nice women. They work their asses off. You come back, the toilet paper's where the olive oil should be. The olive oil's in the bathroom. What the hell is with them? So I was using this. Not good. Very little flavor. It's probably a second or a third garbage. What is this? Dave Gourmet Pickle. Spanish olive oil. So I like the Spanish olive oil from the time I lived in Spain. But this is not particularly good. I won't show you the brand. It says single estate, 100% Spanish, but it doesn't have the flavor I like. No, it's not the Spanish olive oil I like. I am using California, extra virgin, 100% California, glass bottles only. The pan is hot. I don't like mixed oils from Argentina and Peru and Chile. Okay, I use a lot of oil. I don't need to measure. Just coat the pan a lot of oil. And this is 100% California extra virgin olive oil. The one good thing about the maniac state that I live in is the food laws are pretty tough. So we're going to get the oil very hot. I'm going to eat one more potato. So I like potatoes. I can eat them while I'm cooking. Now garlic is a pain in the ass. You know, like Goodfellas with the peeling, with the I don't have the time. I don't have the patience anymore. I hardly have the patience to boil water. It's a pain in the neck, all of it. Okay, so that's a friggin' mess, right? Big deal. Just cook the skins and throw the skins out. What the hell is the big deal if you cook the skin? I don't understand why you have to throw them out. Okay, looks better. I could use my old hammer, right? If you want it, I told you this before. You must crush the garlic to release the sulfur groups. The sulfur groups are not released until the garlic is crushed. It's a very interesting portion of food chemistry. It's little understood. I mean, garlic is still good for you no matter what you do with it, if it's not fresh. This is all organic garlic. However, unless it is crushed, it's not releasing the sulfhydryl groups, which are the active principles that you want. Known as Russian penicillin, I suppose now people will stop eating garlic if they're liberal, for fearing that they're supporting Putin. Or they could call me Putin's puppet for saying garlic is Russian penicillin. I'll read that online tomorrow from the idiots, the morons online, who don't know their ass from garlic. Okay, so you can throw them in now, and then they'll start to burn, which will ruin the whole dish. And then everyone says remove them before they start to burn. I have a different trick. I don't put them in until later. So we got that going. Okay. Now here's your little problem. Since they're still frozen inside, see, gotta be careful now. Lower your heat, Mike. Got water on them, and they're gonna splatter like an elephant. They're gonna splatter like Zelensky's pocketbook. They're gonna splatter like Zelensky's pocket with money in it. Okay. Make sure there's no paper on it. Okay. We're moving right along here. So if you get one shrimp on the stove, you're going to get arrested. You get a little paper on it, don't die. It won't kill you. Probably left. There you go. Okay, so we're good with that. Now I'm going to put the garlic in now. Lower my heat way down. Okay. All right, what a mess. I actually hate cooking now. No, I do. I'll be honest. I just don't want to be in a restaurant. The only reason I'm cooking is I don't want to see people in a Valentine's Day evening eating bad food and then eating poison before they go home. Tiramisu, they think is Italian food. But it's Italian. It's not Italian food what you're eating. Lasagna, not Italian food. It's Italian holiday food. They would eat it once a year at a wedding. Eat it every night and see what happens. You look like Fiorello LaGuardia's liver. Okay. I'm putting my garlic in at this point. I say, what else are you going to put? Big deal? Yes, it's a big deal. I'll show you. If I'm making shrimp oreganata, I have this most beautiful organic oregano. I grow oregano, but I grew it late in the season, so it's not really ready for harvesting. It's nice to buy in these packages. I've had them for a few days, and you just take your leaves off by pulling them backwards, as you know, or else you have to pluck one leaf at a time. You go out of your gourd till the leaf comes off. The whole thing can drive you crazy altogether cooking. In 2 minutes, I'm going to go out and have Chinese food. I throw this out. No, I'm not ready to do that. This is fine. Okay. Just put in the oregano. I like a lot of oregano, oreganata. I might as well use a lot of it. I got tons of it here. And if there's an occasional stem that popped out, so I'll throw the stem away later. Actually, you could cook it with the stem on, to be honest, and then pull the whole stem out and be done with it, because the flavor will be released anyway, in either case. Okay, there we go. So it's a sort of modified oreganata. In a way, it is oreganata. It's not modified anything. And there we are. Just want to make sure it's on a lower heat now. They're simmering down. Turn them all over, obviously. You're cooking on a very low heat after you've defrosted them, because they're frozen inside. Just keep cooking them and turning them. I know it's a pain in the ass. I get it. Pardon me. Pain in the neck. Pain in the Valentine. Where's the Valentine? Is it in the heart or in the schmendrick? Where is the Valentine? Love comes in at the eyes. Wine comes in at the lips. That's all we shall ever know until the day we die. William Butler Yeats, I believe. There we go. All right, girls. Here's your Valentine's Day dish. It's cooking now. A mess you shouldn't know from this. You shouldn't know from the mess I made. I like to clean as I go. I don't know about you. But I'm ready for a glass of wine. A little wine. And I like to turn the heat up a bit. I like to clean my stove a little. It looks like hell. Obviously, from the splattering. In fact, I found another migrant shrimp in the back there. There we go. I feel better now. Mr. Meticulous is cleaning his stove. I'm going to bury it all in some canned sauce, by the way. But I really do want a glass of wine, if you don't mind. May I have a glass of wine now? There you go. Yeah, I'm happy with the way they look. The oregano looks nice. See, that's what oregano looks like. You know, when I was a kid, I used to love oregano in the jars. Always loved the smell. I never knew it was so helpful. I used to make a little, we had a toaster oven on Utopia Parkway. And my cousin and I, sometimes when we were kids, we would take English muffins and we'd put tomato sauce on it and sprinkle oregano, some garlic powder, put it in the oven, and we were in heaven. Imagine how simple kids are. Always loved a thing like that. Tasted better than the pizza from Angelo and Al's Pizza down the block. Angelo and Al are probably sleeping with the fishes by now. May they rest in peace, wherever they may be. I bought this, I know the wine well. The only reason I bought it yesterday is because it had half bottles. They're cute. I mean, and it also measures the amount I want. I don't want to drink more than a half a bottle at night. Last few nights I haven't drank much at all. Allergy season, a nightmare. And so I haven't been having much to drink. But tonight I wanted a little wine with my potato dish. And so let's see. I know the Santa Margarita's an average one. Good sound. It's an average Albige. Okay, I get it. There are better ones. There are better Pinot Grigios, and I've had them in fine restaurants, by the way. An Italian chef in a fine restaurant showed me the others from the same region. This will do the trick, along with the shrimp. And I'm going to put my potatoes actually into this dish. I'm going to say crazy, why don't you keep them separate? Because I don't want to. The trick is what glass I want really right now. Are you still watching? Is there something wrong with you? Still watching me? Okay, shrimp is done. Okay, they are watching. Good. They are done. Actually, they are done. Otherwise, you overcook them. But here's a little trick. I like to overcook them. I don't like mushy shrimp. I like all seafood cooked, well done. I don't care if they're a little tough. I don't want the worms or whatever else the poor little babies ate before they died. Okay, so I'm going to have a drink of wine. And you know I'm going to complain about it because I know it's not a fine wine. But I'm going to say, thank you for listening. Not bad, smells good. It's gotten better, I swear to God, since I last had it. Either that or I wanted it, one or the other. I have a choice right now. I could drown my shrimp in tomato sauce and throw the potatoes in here, but I don't know if I'm going to do that right now. Maybe these are nice just like they are. I could eat them like this with the potato, no sauce. You know, maybe I have some pesto sauce. I think maybe, let's see. Did I buy any or not? There is some here. Look at that. Let's see the date on this. Oh, I love pesto. Used by March 13th. No, that's already. I love this one because it's with Romano cheese. But I'm not going to risk it already. March 13th. Wait a minute. It's still good. What am I talking about? I saw it on February 13th. I'm in luck. I'm going to make the shrimp with pesto. It'll taste better anyway. I don't need the tomato tonight. Now, you could, you know, with this is not the cow's milk. This is the one with the goat. It's Romano cheese, which is allegedly from a goat. And I'm allergic to cow's milk. That happened since I'm a child. You want to laugh at me, then be a moron. Laugh at me, see if I care. People have allergies, you know. This is beautiful stuff. There are ways to do this. You can put it in the hot water and you melt it down that way. I'm not wanting to mix 100 things together at once. So if I put it in the middle here and just break it up here, and, you know, get my oil going on it, then move everything around, and it's gonna liquefy very shortly. That's awesome. I'm glad I found it. It's a little salty. I'm on a low sodium diet because I have, you know, it happened finally in my life. I have high blood pressure. And you have to be very cautious. It's the sodium. I don't care what you read. I don't care if it's sea salt or Millie's salt or Himalayan salt. Sodium is sodium is sodium. Study the literature. I've done it my whole life. And I went back because a lot of morons are saying salt is bad for you. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Sodium is sodium is sodium. And if you don't know that, you know nothing. Okay? That's as simple as that. We need a little of it, yes. But we get approximately 1 gram of sodium from all the foods we eat anyway. We don't need the 5 to 10 grams we're getting by adding it to our foods. Now, what I've done lately is I wanted to experiment with the salty taste. Because I've been on a salt-free diet for 40 years. And I got a salt that is a mixture of 2 different types of salts. One is the magnesium or type of salt. It's interesting. It's a sea salt, of course. It's an alternative salt. But instead of being overloaded with sodium, it's got a lot of potassium in it. I'm not going to put much in. I'm going to put a pinch, okay? because it's a mixture of salt. I'm also going to do something that everybody does all the time. I will add a little bit of it because I don't particularly care for a lot of pepper in anything. And also, black pepper is quite toxic, incidentally. I'll tell you about that another time. Piper nigrum, carcinogenic. I don't eat enough of it to worry about it. So, my shrimp are done and they're beautiful. I gotta tell you, they look good. And the sauce I made that came out of the thing, but to mix with the shrimp, it is a made sauce now. With the oregano. Made sauce. Look at that oregano. It's good. It's all good. Now I'm looking forward to dinner because it's looking good. Let me just see. They're good. I'm not going to say they're bad. They're good. You ever see cooking shows, they taste and go, mmm. You're supposed to say, ooh, bad? It wasn't good. They made it. But I want to put, I'm going to have to do it. Because it'll pick up the flavor of the sauce in my potatoes. I'll put them right in. It's peasant cookery. I'm not pretending to be some chef in France. They know what they're doing, but I can't eat that food. It's poison anyway. The rich sauces, I was never into that. So if I mix the potato in directly with the food, I'm basically thickening the sauce that I'm making. And then of course the potato itself becomes more delicious now. It has the combination shrimp and pesto flavor. Imagine what Joe Biden's eating tonight. What's she feeding him, that monster wife of his? You think they're flying Spirit Airlines getting beaten up by minorities on the plane? I don't think so. The biggest loss to an ex-president is Air Force One. Ask him. That's what they all want. Okay. Any more and it will become rubber, so I'm done. Okay. So turn off my heat. Close her up, put her here. I'll talk with you a minute, then I'm going to say our sayonara, okay? I was once at a dinner, I'm not boasting, at Mar-a-Lago with President Trump and the great Melania, who I so admire. We were here, it was myself, my son, my wife on one side, President and Melania were there. A very well-known man and his wife were here, another well-known man and his wife were here. Great dinner. This was in the last presidency. I'm going to close this discussion by telling you what happened when I got home that night. I never told you this. I got home to my house and my cell phone rang. Hello, Michael, this is Donald Trump. Wow, I'm so honored, Mr. President. He said, Michael, there were a lot of stars at dinner tonight. You were the biggest star. He didn't have to do that. These were very famous, significant people. And he meant it. I know Donald Trump well. He doesn't bullshit people. So that's a moment I remember. Now, I have not been that close with him since. He hasn't been president. Now he is president. He's got bigger things to worry about than an old talk show host. I get it. So I have not tried to, let's say, inveigle my way in. In time, God willing, over time, once he settles the world down, maybe a year from now, he'll have time to remember his old pals who, in the beginning, guys like Mark Levin and what's his name, Hannity, the CIA plant, they were putting him down. They were all calling for someone else but him. He remembers his friends very well and his enemies. He's also a pragmatist. And he is becoming the great president that we all know he is. He will historically be known as a great man. There is no question in my mind. He's got a lot of pitfalls ahead of him. I just worry about some of the people around him. That's all I can say, because no matter how careful you are, You always have to watch out the people who are closest to you. Not bad. Perfect, no, but good. Reading a biography of King David, excuse me. I'll get you the exact quote. King David, one of the great, great kings of ancient Israel. The king was a total hippie lunatic. Conquered everybody, killed everyone around him to become the #1 king. But the man would dance naked in the courtyard. I mean, he was like a hippie from Marin County, according to this great biography. Historically, probably as true as you can find. But he didn't trust his own fellow men to be his bodyguards. You know who he used for bodyguards? Phoenicians, Philistines, what you call Palestinians today. They were his bodyguards. He didn't trust the Jews at the time to be his bodyguards. I'll read the thing to you. In fact, I'll go get it. Oh, it's delicious, the wine. Actually, it got much better than it was years ago. You know, in time, maybe they upgraded their grape or something. They're not malolactic, I can tell you that. The big thing about white wine, jumping from King David to white wine, is you don't want malolactic fermented white wine. Forget about it. It's largely done in California. It's not done in France or Italy. The reason they do it is malolactic fermentation takes a Sauvignon Blanc, which is a dry white wine, and it sweetens it up to make it like a Chardonnay, like a cheap Chardonnay. The girls like that. And a lot of the children grew up on soda, and they don't like the taste of real wine. They like a soda wine, a creamy wine, disgusting. But if you drink that creamy wine, like tonight, probably at Valentine's, you're going to get a headache. And you're going to get it from that, plus the stupid dessert you're going to have. Desserts are not for adults. They're not even for children. They're poison. Would you give a piece of cake to a dog unless you're a lunatic? No. Well, why are you eating it yourself? Why do you let your child have cake, candy? I see women outside cafes in the morning, I want to scream at them. I don't say anything. The child has no chance in life. All right, that's all I want to say tonight. What is tonight? Friday night? So I haven't done a God Talk in a couple of weeks because I started my TV show Sunday nights, and I'm really enjoying the Newsmax TV shows. They're going to change slightly soon. They're going to be much looser YouTube style format. They're very good. The ratings are very good. I went up against the Super Bowl. It was like a suicide mission last week. We still did great. The first one with Tucker Carlson was great. Almost 300,000 viewers, which for a show on a Sunday night's a killer. News show, whatever. It's a nice format. It's a lot of work. And I haven't done my God Talks, as I was saying. And I thought that in my last period of time in the media, I would do only spiritual and godly stuff. But this opportunity came along on Newsmax, and I just couldn't say no to it. It's a beautiful opportunity. It's a great network, great channel. Love the people. Everyone on it's great, with rare exception. So I took it. It's a lot of work. But I stopped the God Talks because there's only so much energy anyone has. Even me, Mr. Ever ready. But I decided that I'm going to do the God Talks again. So this Sunday, I'm going to do a God Talk in the morning. Then my TV show will be aired at night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Western. But it's already, it's taped, so I don't have to work that night. But here's something interesting. I was saying, I don't have an inspiration anymore for God Talks. I've lost my mojo on it. I don't even think, what am I going to do? What should I do? Where's my inspiration? A rabbi I know, a local Chabad rabbi, a young guy, sent me something today, and he said, Michael, it's interesting, but tonight's portion of the Torah on a Friday night, tonight, are the 10 Commandments. And he tells me the page in the Humash, the book. So I said, you know what? That's a great topic, Levi, for Sunday. So Sunday's God Talk in the morning. You're going to get a double header from Michael Savage. In the morning, God Talk, in the evening, Newsmax, God willing. I'm going to talk about not the 10 Commandments the way you've heard them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. We all know them, or we should. I'm going to read the actual commentary on the Ten Commandments, which I find fascinating, that the ancients, the ancient geniuses, analyzed the ancient Hebrew and what they actually said about each commandment. It's beautiful stuff. So that'll be God Talk Sunday morning, and then it will be Newsmax TV at night, and wine comes in at the lips. Oh, that's good. It is good. And shrimp comes in at the mouth. That's all you shall ever know until the day you die. Thanks for listening. I see hit the like button, but so far as I know, when we cross the pearly gates and we meet God, does he ask us how many likes we have? How many followers we have? No, we can have one follower and one like, and God knows us better than 10 million likes from a whore who shows you her breasts and her ass, pardon me, and has 20 million likes. All the prostitutes out there, all the Jezebels, you know, they show their bodies, 10 million likes from all the boys masturbating. You have one follower, one like. You know whose followers you need? One follower? Him. Make him your only follower. That's my message to you on this beautiful Friday night. Thank you for listening. And you don't have to hit the like button, because I don't really care, because God cares, not you. Now I gotta hit the sayonara button, which is always a challenge for me. It's easy tonight. Thanks for listening. Nice show. Good job, Mike. Yes, I'm sure I want to end it. Yes, I'm sure I want to end it. Yes. I want to end it right now, folks. Tell you what. Yes, I want to end it right now, folks.